$6. That's what you paid for your coffee this morning, or yesterday, or the day before. $6 for a latte, $6 for a flat white, $6 for whatever it is you order without thinking, because at this point, it's just part of the morning routine. And you know what? You've probably already done the math in your head. You're smart. You know it adds up. Maybe you've even said it yourself. I know I spend too much on coffee. But here's what you haven't calculated, because the number isn't $6. It isn't even $180 a month. It isn't the $2,160 a year that the budgeting blogs always point to. The real number, the actual cost of that daily cup, is $70,000. And that number isn't dramatic. That number isn't designed to scare you. That number is just math. The kind of math nobody sits you down and explains. The kind of math that the coffee industry, a $500 billion global industry, would very much prefer you never do. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just see the coffee differently, you'll see every small daily habit differently. And that shift, that one change in how you see money, is worth more than any budgeting app, any savings account, any financial plan you've ever tried to stick to. The trap. Let me be clear about something first. This video is not an attack on coffee. Coffee is not the enemy. The enemy is something much bigger and much more invisible than a cup of coffee. The enemy is the daily habit that doesn't feel like spending. Because here's what happens with small daily purchases. They don't feel like financial decisions. They feel like lifestyle choices. They feel like the small pleasures that make a difficult week bearable. They feel earned, and they are earned. You work hard. You have a stressful commute. You have a demanding job. You have responsibilities and pressures, and a schedule that starts before most people are awake. A $6 coffee is not an indulgence. It's a ritual. And that's exactly what makes it so financially dangerous, because the moment something becomes a ritual, the moment it becomes automatic, unconscious, just part of how Tuesday works, it stops being a decision. And money that leaves without a decision is money that compounds against you. Think about how the daily coffee habit starts. It doesn't start with a commitment to spend $70,000. It starts with one good cup. One morning where the coffee from the cafe down the street was genuinely better than what you make at home. One morning where you had an early meeting and didn't have time. One morning where you deserved something good because the week had been brutal. And then it happened again, and again, and slowly, without any single moment of conscious choice, it became the routine. Now the coffee shop is on your route. You know the baristas by name. You have their app on your phone. You have a loyalty card with 11 stamps on it. You didn't decide to become a daily coffee shop customer. You just kept doing what felt good until it was automatic. That's not weakness. That's not irresponsibility. That's the exact psychological mechanism that every consumer brand in the world is engineered to trigger. They call it habit stacking. The coffee shop on your commute route isn't there by accident. The loyalty app isn't designed to save you money. The 11 stamps aren't there because the company is generous. They're there because every friction point removed from a purchase, every time you make spending easier, faster, more automatic, increases the probability that you'll spend again tomorrow. The $6 coffee isn't a coffee. It's a perfectly engineered daily withdrawal from your financial future. The math. Now let's do the math they don't want you to do. $6 a day. That's $42 a week. $180 a month, $2,160 a year. Now, most people stop there. $2,160 a year sounds manageable. Uncomfortable maybe, but manageable. Here's where we go further. Because you're not 60 years old. You're somewhere between 25 and 40, which means you have, conservatively, 25 to 35 years of earning and investing ahead of you. $2,160 a year invested instead into a low-cost index fund at a conservative 8% annual return over 30 years is $70,000. $70,000 from coffee. Now let me show you how that number actually builds, because this is the part that makes it real. In year one, you invest $2,160. With 8% growth, that becomes $2,333. In year 5, that annual contribution has compounded into roughly $13,000. In year 10, $33,000. In year 20, $107,000. Wait, $107,000 in year 20. But I said $70,000. Here's why. The $70,000 figure is the opportunity cost calculation, the difference between what you'd have if you invested versus what you have by spending. It accounts for inflation, tax considerations, and real-world variables. But the gross compound number is actually higher, which means $70,000 is the conservative version of this story. The real cost of that daily coffee habit could be 6 figures. Now let's go deeper, because the coffee is just the entry point. Here's the part most people miss completely. The coffee is not the only daily habit. Let's build a real picture of what a typical high earner's daily spending actually looks like. Morning coffee, $6. Lunch out, because you didn't meal prep and you're busy, $14. An afternoon snack or second coffee, $4. A convenience purchase, maybe a bottle of water, a snack from the corner store, something grabbed without thinking, $5. That's $29 a day in unconscious daily spending. Not rent, not utilities, not planned expenses. Just the small, automatic, invisible daily outflow that never registers as a problem because individually each purchase is completely reasonable. $29 a day is $870 a month, $10,440 a year. Invested at 8% over 30 years, $1.3 million. $1.3 million in unconscious daily spending. That is the real number, not the coffee. The coffee is the symbol. The real cost is the accumulation of all the small things that never get counted because they never feel significant enough to count. Here's the thing nobody talks about. The problem isn't that you buy coffee. The problem is that you buy coffee unconsciously. There's a version of a $6 coffee that is a completely sound financial decision. And there's a version of a $6 coffee that is quietly costing you $70,000. The coffee is identical. The difference is whether you chose it or whether it just happened. This is what separates the people who build wealth from the people who wonder where their money went. It's not income. It's not intelligence. It's not discipline in the dramatic, white-knuckling sense of the word. It's consciousness. The wealthy don't avoid lattes. They don't meal prep out of desperation. They don't carry a thermos because they can't afford coffee. They make deliberate decisions about where their money goes. And the key word there is deliberate. A billionaire who buys a $6 coffee because they genuinely enjoy it and consciously chose to is making a different financial move than a high earner who buys a $6 coffee out of habit because it's Tuesday. And that's just what happens on Tuesdays. Same coffee, completely different financial outcome over 30 years. Because one of those people is directing their money. The other is just watching it leave. This is what your financial life actually comes down to, not the big decisions, the house, the car, the salary negotiation, the small decisions, made daily, made automatically, made without thought. Those are the ones that compound. The rule. This is the conscious spend rule, and it's the simplest, most powerful financial shift you can make without changing your lifestyle at all. Here it is. Every purchase under $20 before you make it gets 1 second of conscious thought, not analysis, not guilt, not a spreadsheet. 1 second, one question. Am I choosing this or is this just happening? That's it. If you're choosing it, genuinely, consciously choosing it, buy it. Enjoy it. It's yours. If it's just happening, if you're buying it because it's Tuesday and that's what you do on Tuesdays, pause. Just pause. You don't have to not buy it. You just have to decide. Because here's what happens when you introduce conscious decision-making into automatic spending. About 30% of those automatic purchases disappear. Not because you deprived yourself, because you looked at them and realized you didn't actually want them. You wanted the ritual, you wanted the comfort, you wanted the break from your desk. But the $6 coffee itself? Sometimes, when you actually think about it, you realize you could make a coffee at the office. Or you already had one. Or you're buying it because everyone else is going and you didn't want to be the one who didn't. That 30%, those are the purchases you eliminate without sacrifice because they were never purchases you actually wanted. They were just habits wearing the disguise of preferences. Now let's talk about the second part of the conscious spend rule. For every daily habit that costs more than $4, track it for 30 days. Not to judge it, not to eliminate it, just to see it. Because invisible spending only survives in the dark. The moment you write down every coffee, every lunch, every convenience purchase for 30 days, something happens. You start making different choices, not because someone told you to, but because seeing the number, the real accumulated number, changes how the purchase feels. $6 doesn't feel the same after you've watched it become $180 on a piece of paper. The escape. Now here's what I actually want you to do. I'm not asking you to quit coffee. I'm asking you to redirect 50% of your daily habit spending. Just 50%. Keep the coffee you genuinely love, the one that starts your morning right, the one that's part of a ritual that actually means something to you. Let that one stay, but audit the automatic ones, the second coffee you get because you're bored, the lunch you buy because you didn't plan, the snack you grab because it's there, the bottle of water you buy when you have one in your bag. Redirect 50% of that. If you're currently spending $29 a day on unconscious purchases, redirect $14.50. That's $435 a month. Invested at 8% over 25 years, $408,000. $408,000. Not from eliminating pleasure, from redirecting the spending that was never pleasurable in the first place. That's the escape. Not deprivation, not a 30-day no-spend challenge that you abandon by day 11. Just a permanent, quiet 50% redirect of the money that was already leaving without your permission. And here's the compounding truth that makes this so powerful. You won't miss it, because the spending you're redirecting wasn't making you happy anyway. It was automatic, it was convenient, it was habitual, but it was not, if you're honest with yourself, genuinely improving your life. The coffee you consciously choose, that one stays. The coffee that just happens, that one funds your future. And 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when you look at your investment account and feel the quiet, solid, unshakable feeling of financial freedom starting to take shape, you will not miss that second Tuesday coffee, not even slightly. At the start of this video, I told you the real cost of a $6 coffee is $70,000. Now you understand why. Not because coffee is evil, not because enjoying your money is wrong, but because money that leaves automatically, without decision, without intention, without consciousness, compounds against you every single day for 30 years. And the system you're living inside, the loyalty apps, the habit stacking locations, the frictionless payments, the automatic purchases, every piece of it was designed specifically to keep that money moving out of your account and into someone else's. You're not undisciplined. You're not bad with money. You're just operating on autopilot inside a system that was engineered to drain you slowly. Now you see the system. 1 second of conscious thought before every automatic purchase. That one habit, that single moment of intention before the money moves, is worth $70,000. Stop financing the illusion of wealth. Start compounding your freedom.